What's going on, guys? This is Jason of Auglitical. I swim through the politics so you don't drown too. I am just a man trying to bring common sense in a world where common sense isn't so common. So sometimes I get people that they have to find any reason to dislike my content, and one of the things that they will try to attack me on, especially when they have nothing else to stand on, is sometimes me mispronouncing words. Whether it be because sometimes I'm extremely tired, I sometimes do these videos with no sleep for almost 24 hours and then some, or it's a name or a word that I do not use in my vernacular. Like, I just don't use these words. So of course, trying to pronounce a word that you do not use in frequency would come up sometimes with errors. That's just how it is. I don't always do it on purpose. It's not always for comedic effect. Sometimes I really do mispronounce the words, but I'm still giving you the story. The information is still being passed along, so take it as you will. Let's get into it, shall we?
If you are listening to this, my name is Felicia. You may know that, well, I was one of the last owners of this phone. Unless you're me and, well, you're listening to this from the future.
A grieving New Jersey mom whose 11-year-old daughter is said to have taken her own life in a school bathroom is demanding to see security footage to prove the preteen was alone at the time. Elena, and I'm going to only say this once, LoAlbo-Melendez, is still waiting to see critical evidence relating to her 11-year-old daughter, Felicia Menendez, unexpected February's death, which investigators have ruled a suicide. Over the last 8 weeks, they have refused to show me any videotape footage and several emails in reference to the school about the bullying, Elena says. I have asked to see the scarf found in the bathroom, the security tapes, and I've been locked out of her school's online account since she has even passed. Elena says she fears someone else could have been in some way involved in her daughter's death. And until I see footage proving otherwise, that will remain in the forefront of my mind, she added. Show me the tapes and prove it to me. If I saw the tapes 100%, it could help me get some kind of closure. Elena admitted the preteen's death came after rounds of vicious bullying from her peers, which had prompted her to write a number of emails requesting help from the school and its counselor, whom Felicia was visiting regularly with. Elena said her daughter, who only turned 11 in December, had been bullied for many years, and she has had to personally call other parents, to ask them for the bullying to stop. They were telling her to unalive herself. They called her all kind of derogatory names, put gum in her hair, and stole from her, she recalled. Felicia punched one student who told her to unalive herself, Elaine said. But even then, there were never any repercussion from the school, no follow-up, no one called me, no one talked to me about that incident, she wrote on. Elena Felicia was set to be switched to a new class after winter recess to get her away from the bullies, but it never happened. And you know what, honestly, that wouldn't help a thing because all they would do was go find the student after. Like, bullying is a problem. And I do believe that bullying does have a vital role in society, believe it or not. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think that somebody should be bullied to the point that they want to kill themselves. I think that that's insane. But then there are some people, I think sometimes people need to see bullies to know that not everything is rainbow and sunshines, and there are people out there that don't like people. I don't know, like, it's funny, like, to eradicate bullies from the chain, I think that that's not going to ever be a thing that's possible. And I think that some people need to see bullies in general, because people also need to see bullies get put in their place and the right thing to do and how to deal with bullies, because you're going to deal with bullies throughout your entire life. That's how I see it. Also, 100%, I know that this may be a hot take to some people who dislike my content no matter what I do. I 100% believe that a parent should be able to see footage of their child's suicide or footage leading up to their child's suicide to give them some type of closure. The fact that the school is not showing them security footage, the fact that it is weird. But then again, this is the same thing that I've been saying about the person, this weirdo nut job that killed all of those college students inside of that house. And they said that there's a chance that they may be bringing up a death by firing squad. And I feel like as though if the parents feel this, if the parents feel that type of way, they should even be able to say, I want to be in the firing squad. I want to be in the firing squad. Again, I know an eye for an eye supposedly makes the world blind, but sometimes it's like it's getting out of hand, and it might have to come to a point where we go back to that type of law or something, because they're not fearful, they're being emboldened, people doing bad things. Again, that's just the way I see it. Elaine charged the school had tried to cover up her daughter's bullying in the past, and then tried to cover everything else up when it comes to the details of her passing. She added her husband, Felicia's father, died in late January, just weeks after being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Felicia had been undergoing therapy before and after her father's death, Elaine said. But Elaine said there were no signs of her daughter was experiencing suicidal thoughts. There was no Google searches or anything referencing self-harm, she said. You're not going to learn to tie a noose without some kind of Google search. Yeah, so when I was first looking into this story, I was like, so how did they die? Because it's very easy for you to kind of skim over this and be like, okay, this is suspect as hell. First and foremost, how's an 11-year-old in a bathroom tying a noose? How would they know how to tie a noose? I don't think that that's something that they would learn. That's insane. She said her daughter had never harmed herself in the past. A kid doesn't just hang themselves in the bathroom without ever contemplating suicide. Actually, that's a fact. Well, you would see signs. I think that you would see signs. I believe you would see signs. See, the thing, oh shit. The thing is, and this is something that's kind of personal. There was a point in time when I was depressed, like heavily depressed. And I was one of those people in the beginning that, I used to look at people who were suicidal and be like, just stop being suicidal. That's so stupid. Why would you kill yourself? And then one day it just hit me, like everything just started hitting me. And it was like, for me, and I guess that everybody's different. For me, it was like a voice consistently like putting me down. A voice that was consistently just like, it was fucked up. It was like I was literally my worst own enemy. And a lot of people sat there and it was like, oh, we'll get you the help. It doesn't need to be this way. And there are some people that get help and it fixes it for them. For me, the way that I stopped being suicidal was one day I just stopped. Right? I just stopped. And the thing is, it sucks because the people who are suicidal, a lot of times you won't even know. A lot of times you don't even know. They could be the brightest candle in the light. And that's the reason why they go out the quickest, because they're the brightest candle, right? So for everybody, it's not the same. I would just say it like that. But even though people who become suicide may not seem suicidal after some point, but there are signs. I think that there are signs, you know? I mean, I never looked up how to kill myself. I kind of knew in growing up, I kind of knew how to figure out how it would go. But yeah, okay, whatever. A kid doesn't just hang themselves in a bathroom without ever contemplating suicide. That's just not how these things happen, she told the Post. A student at FW Holden School in Mount Holly, New Jersey, discovered Felicia's unresponsive body around 1 p.m. February 6th, the prosecutor's office previously said. The office described how she had been discovered after hanging herself in a closed bathroom stall. She was ultimately rushed to a Philadelphia hospital but could not be saved. Bro, how was she hanging from a stall? First off, she's only 11, so how tall are these stalls? How did no one notice it was a goddamn thing? I'm trying to figure this out. How? Was it tied to... Because... I mean, thinking about bathroom stalls, I'm pretty sure these stalls are smaller than... No, they're probably the same size as adults, right? But for you to hang yourself there, like what? Was she leaning? Was she... They're not saying exactly what it was anchored to. They're not saying what the scarf was anchored to, and that's weird. That is very suspect. In my eyes, that's suspect because the only way that I could see this person... First off, it's a girl's bathroom. There are girls going to the bathroom all the time. Girls go to the bathroom with each other. Even little girls go to the bathroom with each other, hold hands and go to the bathroom with each other. Even adults, females go to the bathroom with each other. I think it's weird. So there's frequent people going into the bathroom. You mean to tell me no one sees unless she tied it to what? The door? And she leaned? Again, it is suspect. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, of course. The office described how she had been discovered after hanging herself in a closed bathroom stall. She was ultimately rushed to the Philadelphia hospital but could not be saved. Felicia died 2 days later. That Friday, investigators told her mother they thought it was a suicide and she had a scarf around her neck on the floor. Elena recounted to the Post. The Philadelphia Medical Examiner's Office determined Felicia had committed suicide and died of complications from hanging. Last week, the prosecutor's office cited surveillance footage and reported Felicia was alone in the bathroom when this tragic action occurred. Mount Holly School District Superintendent Robert Mungo told the Post his office cooperated fully, including providing surveillance footage and all documents related to the investigation. Then why is the mother asking for it? The statement went on. Our district suffered a loss which continues to weigh heavily on the school community. School counselors and administrators, with the support of the Burlington County School Crisis Response Team, have and will continue to increase outreach to students and staff who are prepared to aid them in prosecuting this latest information as they continue to grieve. A spokesperson for the Burlington County Prosecutor Office told the Post the video would soon be released. LoAlbo will be released to Lane. Why does it, bro? Why? This is the thing that's so weird. Why are you holding footage of this? It's kind of like the same thing, like they're holding the manifesto for the Tennessee trans shooter that hated Catholic people, right? Even though that was a terrorist attack. Why are you holding it? Talk about, oh, it's related to the case and it's sensitive. No, it's not. It really isn't. This is, again, it was previously communicated that we would accommodate her request to view the school surveillance recording at the appropriate time, but not while the criminal investigation was ongoing, the spokesperson said in a statement. The investigation has concluded and arrangements will be made in the near future for Miss Elaine to be shown the footage. Bro, I think that they're seriously, like, the law does not work for those who are actually victims. I really do feel that way. I think that we have a lot of things backwards in this country. I do find it crazy, and tell me if I'm wrong, that a mother like this does not have footage to something like this, right? That right there would drive me crazy, right? The last thing you want to hear is, oh, somebody died, and you don't get the information you need as to how that person died. If the person that in question dies, and you don't know them to have, it's like, how can a healthy person die in the hospital, right? For example, when my mother passed away, the reason why my mother passed away is because she could not breathe. And it takes forever for emergency services to even get anywhere in that area of New Jersey when I was over there in New Jersey with my mother. And the way I seen it was like, oh, she died because of whatever. Here's the thing. My mother was only like 50-something years old. She was fine, right? But because it took so long for her to get the medical aid that she needed, because if she was in the city, say if she was in New York, or if she was in any other place that had a better medical response time. So 1 and 2, I could just be like, okay, so she died because of your medical's complete fucking garbage in this fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, I can get that. But for this mother right here who's grieving, she just wants the closure. And I just find it kind of crazy that they're sitting there and they're sitting there and they're playing. Again, it is very suspect. It is very bad. Our country as a whole is messed up. But then again, we have a country right now where if you run over a trans flag with a truck on a road, because the road is where the trans flag is, memorial is being painted, and they expect a road not to be ridden, you're labeled as a terrorist. However, you can go into a school and shoot up 6 people and not be labeled as a terrorist, which you would be considered in any other place, in any other time, in any other place in the world, but you are considered also a victim. There's a lot of things that need to change, but I'm afraid that it might be too late. Anyway, guys, we're going to end it here. I will catch you guys next time. Peace.